The global order relies on a delicate set of rules, treaties, alliances, and careful diplomacy. But right now, those old gears are being stripped away. The United States is no longer playing by the established diplomatic playbook. Instead of the quiet handshakes that normally happen inside places like the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, international relations are now settled through direct, high-stakes ultimatums. The geopolitical board is currently defined by three massive flashpoints: China's limit pressure on Taiwan, a breakneck race for artificial intelligence dominance, and Iran's escalating push toward a nuclear weapon. To handle these threats, the administration has dropped the pretense of peace talks. Their new strategy relies entirely on overwhelming economic pressure and the threat of unilateral military force. Mutual alliances have been replaced by a global hostage negotiation, where every geopolitical move, from a simple trade deal to military defense, carries a strict, unyielding price tag. Take the economic battleground in Asia. The center of gravity here is Taiwan, which holds a near monopoly on the global semiconductor industry. This map shows the new American tactic. Instead of begging companies to build in the US, the administration is threatening a 100 to 200% tariff on imported chips. The goal is to force that entire manufacturing sector to physically pack up and relocate to American soil to avoid the penalty. While those economic threats play out, there's another point of leverage on the board. The U.S. is currently stalling the approval of a $12 billion weapons package, originally meant to fortify Taiwan's defenses. The administration is intentionally withholding these weapons as a high-value bargaining chip, meant to keep Chinese leadership in line while the U.S. extracts trade concessions. Protecting a democratic partner is no longer treated as a sacred duty. Taiwan's very survival has become a disposable asset in a much larger trade war with Beijing. Meanwhile, a completely different Cold War is happening in the tech sector. When the artificial intelligence boom began, China quickly amassed an enormous, intimidating lead. To catch up and overtake them, the U.S. response was brutal and simple: systematically strip away domestic regulations and give American tech giants absolute freedom to build. The computing power required for AI is massive, so the administration went to extreme lengths, explicitly allowing tech billionaires to bypass the national energy grid and construct their own private electric power plants. Safety protocols and environmental concerns are treated as obstacles. In this race for ultimate leverage, AI supremacy is a zero-sum game, and raw speed matters far more than any potential risk. But when economic leverage and tariffs aren't an option, the playbook changes entirely. In the Middle East, Iran has consistently provoked the globe by threatening commercial oil shipping lanes and pushing toward a nuclear weapon. The U.S. pivoted to direct kinetic force, reporting a staggering 159 Iranian ships sent to the bottom of the sea to establish total naval dominance. When Iran attempted to pivot to swarms of armed fast boats, the U.S. military deployed disproportionate firepower, wiping them out with the same swiftness used for cartels and drug runners. The military aggression extended straight to Iran's nuclear ambitions. Deep mountain granite facilities were hit so hard they physically collapsed, with U.S. Space Force cameras actively monitoring the obliterated rebel from orbit to ensure no one goes near the radioactive dust. In regions immune to trade threats, the U.S. bypasses traditional coalition requests, using sheer military dominance to dictate terms to its adversaries. Executing these massive geopolitical maneuvers creates a shockwave that travels thousands of miles straight back to the American homefront. Citizens are feeling the immediate fallout. Choked oil routes and weaponized supply chains have led directly to climbing inflation and painfully high prices at the gas pump. The administration's response to this financial squeeze is blunt. They acknowledge the pain, but view it as a necessary, completely acceptable collateral damage of their strategy. What exactly is the public buying with this expensive gasoline? According to the playbook, a few extra dollars at the pump is the direct price for preventing a nuclear holocaust in the Middle East. The secondary payout for this domestic sacrifice is long-term security. By enduring short-term inflation, the U.S. forces key industries to return home, cementing unquestioned global economic dominance. This entire transactional empire is a colossal wager. The administration is betting that lasting global peace can only be maintained through absolute, unapologetic extortion. But in a high-stakes game where military strikes and national economies serve as bargaining chips, what happens when an adversary finally calls the bluff?